Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the 2024 NFL trade deadline has come and gone. And your Atlanta Falcons, my Atlanta Falcons, did absolutely shit. Nothing. They made no trade. They made no edge rusher acquisition. They made no linebacker acquisition. They made no damn acquisition on the defense. They made no damn acquisition on the offense. And that worries me for this NFL season. But it doesn't worry me for the future. You want to know why? Well, stick around and we'll tell you why. Before we continue, let me ask for your like of this video. You're clicking on that subscription button. Don't forget to share, because sharing is caring. Tell your mom, dad, whatever. Doesn't matter. My Atlanta Falcons made no last moment move to make a damn NFL trade for an edge. There's a lot of talk about the possibility of getting somebody from New York, getting somebody from Cleveland, getting somebody that was available. Maybe even a Calais Campbell, who I truly loved last year. Let's admit it. We're last. We're last at edge rushing sacks. And we, the Atlanta fans, are scared as fuck. We are scared because our defense sucks. Yes, we have Kirk Cousins. Yes, we have Drake London. Yes, we have Darnel Mooney. Yes, we have Ray Muck freaking Cloud. We got Tyler Allgier, and we got the great Bijan Robinson. They're great. Our offense is great. Come on, you got to admit that. But the problem now is not the offense, ladies and gentlemen. It's our defense. To be last in sacks, to be last in whatever edge rush data in the NFL is composed of, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is scary. That is scary for the postseason. That is scary for the playoffs, and that is something that I actually do fear. For the 2024-25 NFL season, I really wanted somebody else to be added to the team on the defensive side, because that would guarantee us moving on higher and higher as we move on into the playoffs. See, we're guaranteed right now, and most likely at the end of the NFL season, that the Atlanta Falcons, my Atlanta Falcons, are going to be the winners of the NFC South. That's going to be a guarantee. We've beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We've beaten the New Orleans Saints. Everybody's beating the Carolina Panthers. They suck, period. But that's the point. We're good in our division. Yet, teams like the Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs, they got better. They were better than us on both the on the offensive and defensive side. But now, at the trade deadline, they improved. Baltimore improved. Dallas sucked, and they somehow improved by giving out the farm, but that's not the point. We're talking about the Falcons. Everybody else improved. Now, dude, we have the capability of making a great-ass trade? The answer was no. We didn't have the money for the future. Sure, look, you're thinking now. You're thinking what we're going to do now. But in a trade situation, you have to think about the amount of money that you have to allocate for that player for the future as well. If they're on a long-term contract, 2-3 years, are you going to keep them? Do you have the money to keep them? Sure, you might have the money for keep them here this year, but are you able to keep somebody at a long-distance run? What if they fail you? What if that edge rusher or whatever defensive player you get fails you? He's not going to be worth the trade. He's not going to be worth the money that you have for this year, next year, and the years to come. And he's not going to be worth the amount of NFL draft picks or players that you give up to get him. That's if he sucks this year. Now, one of the million-dollar questions is, should you as an Atlanta Falcons fan be pissed off that Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, and Arthur Blank didn't do jack shit to improve the team at the deadline? The answer is maybe for this year, but in the long run, no. Cap education. That is a key word. Money, money, money. Knowing how to allocate your money is very important, because the time for Kirk Cousins, or the timeline for Kirk Cousins, is 2 to 3 years. Not the 4-year contract. No. In the next year, this year, next year, that's our high standard. That's where we want to go. If we want to win a Super Bowl for Arthur Blank, you have this year, and you have next year. The third year is a so questionable act that you as the owner, that you as the Terry Fontenot general manager have to take into account. In other words, if we can't get in to the Super Bowl this year, let's try for next year. Let's put in all our chips into getting those off-season available players on the defensive side next year. Let's fill in the holes next year. That's what happens with money. Look, there's another thing that you have to think about. We allocated a lot of money this offseason to players that we needed. We needed a quarterback, Kirk Cousins. We needed a number 2 wide receiver. We got Darnel Mooney. We had another wide receiver, but he got injured preseason. We needed a defensive edge. Who do we get? Matthew Judon. Matthew Judon isn't there yet. Remember that. That is one of the ideas that you should have in your head. Matthew Judon was obtained at the beginning of the season. What does that mean? He's been with us longer. He knows the playbook better. He has a few more weeks to adjust to the playbook and to be his old self. See, because if we would have brought somebody in who didn't know the playbook, who didn't practice with the team, who didn't have the chemistry that Matthew Judon had, well, it's going to take longer for that player to adjust, to adapt, and to do what he did for New York, for the Browns, or for whatever other edge rusher we could have obtained in the NFL trade deadline. With Matthew Judon being here for the last couple of weeks, he's been more and more and more active and ready to learn more. He's not himself, but if we are smart enough, he can be there. He can get to that position that he was. He could bring in more sacks. David Animata, he needs more touches. The young guys, Ellis, he's going to be ready. He's going to be more prepared. As time progresses, as this team progresses, it's going to get better. Is it the defensive team that we could say, hey, we can take this team to the Super Bowl with our defense? No, it's not. Obviously. Are they the best possible team? No, obviously. Our hopes and prayers are that offense with Kirk Cousins, Drake London, Kyle Pitts can withhold the other team's defense, can withhold or make us stand out for a long period of time where the point differential is enough to help our defense control certain situations during the game. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me what you think. Do you think that our Falcons, my Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, should have made a trade at the last second or the last day of the NFL trade 2024, or should they have not made anything as they did and save that money and reanalyze everything at the end of the season? Because really, truthfully, did you actually think they had a chance to be number 1 in the division and maybe even have the chance to go to the Super Bowl? I had the idea that they would be number 1 in the division. Super Bowl, they had a chance. But with the Lions and the acquisitions they've made, they're too strong and they're probably going to be the favorites. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. See you in the next one.